Hey guys, Richard Wolf here, DTM District 68, and I want to come to you to bring you a little training about the new leadership cycle we have coming up. Well, right now, the very early part of April, and May 1st, we're going to start that whole process of nominating folks for the new leadership roles. And right now, actually, you and the president of the club, VPE, probably should all be getting together with the immediate past president to set up and decide, okay, who's going to be the new leadership? Who do we want to elect for those roles? So now's the time to kind of get that started. So I wanted to bring you a video that would help you in teaching and showing the other members in the club what are the responsibilities of these particular members, these leadership roles, president, vice president, education. What are the skills they're going to learn, and how's it going to help them in the real world outside of the Toastmasters scenario, right? So here we go. Leadership. What is leadership, and what's it going to do for them here? Well, basically, it's serving in a role inside this club. It gives you the opportunity for anyone, someone, to develop the new skills to use everywhere in their life, at home, at work, in the community. I think a lot of people miss the idea and the positive part of, if I work within an organization and I want to develop into management, I want to become a leader in this organization, or even a team leader of some sort, where do I learn those skills? Well, some organizations will teach you these skills and give you some leadership training or management training, but some of them don't. They pretty much just wing it and throw it off the cuff. This actually provides another idea from an opportunity of, where do I find new members? Well, go to companies. Who in your organization are people you're looking to move up the chain? Well, they're going to need some of the skills we teach in our organization, so send them over to Toastmasters. We can help them. So gives them the opportunity to develop some new skills, and they can use them everywhere. Chance to learn communication skills at a higher level. Help them build a team, because every role, president, vice president education, vice president membership, secretary, treasurer, sergeant of arms, those are single roles, but those people can develop a team of folks. Sometimes it's only one other person that helps them with things. Sometimes you might need 2 or 3 other people to help you with things. But it's the opportunity to build a small team of people to work toward a single goal, right? And then lastly, it's a practice of inspiring and motivating others to accomplish a goal that's larger than themselves, for the good of the whole team and the whole organization in this case. So in a work environment, you probably have a mission or a vision for that company, or maybe even your department. How does that contribute to the whole, and how do I build a team and help them move toward that, right? That's the biggest of people. So let's start with president, the CEO of the organization. And again, I think if we stop for a moment and really understand and think of Toastmasters, each and every club, area, division, and then the district, think of it as a business. Think of it as an entity in which you have employees. Those employees work with the customers. And who are the customers? The customers are the members. The members that come in the door, the guest that join as a new member, that's the customer. Now, at some point, that customer can now possibly be a leader in the organization. And actually, if we look at Toastmasters Promise number 6, it says, will serve in a club officer role when called upon to do so, which gives the assumption that every member should at some point serve in some leadership capacity. But the president is the CEO. He's the head. He's the big shot. He's the one that leads by example, treats all members fairly. They build that cohesive team, ensuring all tasks are completed. What are the tasks? Again, there's a long list, and the specifics of this digs into the club leadership manual. But each club, the president is responsible for helping the club reach distinguished club program. That's going to be President's Distinguished. Or actually, now they have Smedley Distinguished. I'm not sure if that's at the club level or just the division and areas and districts. But nonetheless, that's the ultimate goal, is for a club to be distinguished. You're going to hold yourself accountable as president, also the other members accountable. How do I motivate those folks to serve in their roles and fulfill their duties, right? We're going to resolve conflict in a diplomatic way. Resolving conflict is probably one of the key pieces that I think we don't think about when we're stepping into leadership roles. We just know we got to go do these things. Oh, but there's going to be some challenges and problems. How do I resolve those? That's going to be some conflict you're going to come across. Going to represent your club at the district and area events. Be familiar with all aspects of standard club operations. So this provides a question to us. Do you know where to find the standard club operations? Well, there's a separate entity and a separate document about the club protocol, and also there's Robert's Rules of Order and how to develop and how to run a meeting and such. But the standard club operation should be in your district leadership handbook, your club leadership handbook. So you have some ideas there. And there's probably more documents on the Toastmaster International site you can dig into too if you need that. But for the full list of all your responsibilities, see item 683P for president for the complete list. Now the next slide, and this is how I've developed all the roles in the club, all the leadership roles, is what are the responsibilities and then what are the skills you're going to learn. And this comes right off of that document 683P. So you can learn the skill of how to lead a small group in a positive way. You're going to learn team building, how to plan from a strategic standpoint in that here's the goal we have to reach. What are the steps it takes to reach that goal? How do we motivate others? Motivation is a big challenge, I think, that we don't always understand how motivation works. How do I motivate someone in my organization, whether it be Toastmasters, in my corporate environment, as a sales manager? How do I motivate my team to go sell more and go move more product on the streets? I think that's a key and critical thing there. And there are programs within Toastmasters that you can use to teach these skills. Critical thinking. How do I really think critically to kind of develop these plans? Conflict resolution and management. Succession planning. So right now, that's what we're doing. We're planning a succession for the next term. And also compliance with the standard operating procedures within the club and the Toastmasters overall. Let's go to the Vice President of Education. Well, that person is responsible basically for educating the club and then for managing the agendas and the whole educational program, okay? So you're going to find them in charge of managing the club agendas and meetings, setting them up, kind of coordinating it. Now, they don't have to do all of this stuff, but they need to be in charge of making sure it gets done. Okay, management is basically work done through others. Sure, you do some of the work yourself. You're not going to farm everything off on other people or delegate it all. But there's going to be certain things, and you'll find certain skills within your club that this person may have it's better than you. Well, maybe I can help them and teach them how to do that particular one thing. That's it, just this one thing. And then I can focus stronger over here because this is more my strength. You know, manage your members' progress and pathways and encourage them to stay engaged and to keep speaking and keep working through the program. Plan your speech contests. We have that one major speech cycle every year. Now, you can have other little contests in your area and divisions if you want, completely spur of the moment or just kind of work some more, camaraderie and build some more team there. But there's one every year that leads up to the International Speech Contest. And they'll also usually do maybe humorously speaking and, oh goodness, I don't know if evaluation sometimes will go along with that too. Just depends. We manage the mentor program. So the mentor program is more specifically when a new guest joins becomes a member, we have to put them on a path to learn our system, to learn what to do and how to interact and work within the Toastmasters club environment, right? And that you're in charge of managing that. Again, you don't need to be the person that does it all. You may have a mentor manager, and that's another person aside from yourself that when a new member joins, they get that info and they team them up with another mentor to work through the process. Hold yourself and your other officers accountable. Again, even though the VPE to me is probably like the COO, Chief Operations Officer, because they're going to kind of help with the operations of the club in and of itself. President's the CEO, but there's no problem with the Vice President of Education holding the president accountable. Hey, you know what? You mentioned in our early meeting in the beginning of the year that you were going to do this, and here's something you were going to help the club with. I haven't seen you executing that well. Is there anything I can do to help you do that better? Okay, that's holding other officers accountable. And even those around you. Hey, Vice President membership, I haven't seen many guests come in later. What are we doing to recruit new members? Whatever it is, it's again, and if we go back to, let's see, that's a positive small group leadership. Well, that's on the president's slide, but let's jump ahead here. So let's see what are the skills. Again, reference this document here, 683 VPE for more details. I've just highlighted the most, probably the most commonly talked about ones. Skills. Ooh, look right here. Positive small group leadership. That's what that is, buddy. Strategic planning, evaluating performance, determining strengths and weaknesses. I think as a VPE, part of what you do as you're managing the Pathways program, you're a little more connected to the members in the club because you're really watching, okay, how are they progressing through the Pathways program? How are they actually engaging with other members? How are they working with their mentor? So you're kind of looking at their performance, and you might can give a whole different idea and really determine they have some certain strengths and weaknesses. What do they do in their job in the real world? Is that a skill they've developed there that might could be helpful inside the club? And how can you engage them a little deeper in the club? Organizing is problem solving. Again, critical thinking, relationship building, conflict management resolution, deliver tactful, constructive feedback, and again, succession planning. So as you're going to see through this process, a lot of these skills developed are going to be similar in all the roles. Some are going to be very distinctive to that particular role. So what's next? Vice President of Membership. Well, you're in charge of welcoming the guests, providing guest packets, replying to prospective members quickly, whether they're coming through your website, maybe they're walking in the door, maybe they email you directly because they got the information from the website. In my opinion, the Vice President of Membership most likely should be the person that's the first point of contact when someone reaches out to the club. Maybe it's through the club website, through Toastmasters International. That's whose contact information is on that page. Because they should be that first responder almost, okay? Between them probably and the Vice President of Public Relations. Those probably are gonna work together hand in hand a lot. Convert guests into members. Conduct membership building programs and social events to build community. Promote the club and recruit new members. Monitor membership levels. Address, plan to cover membership challenges. Hold yourself and other officers accountable. And then again, for the details of the responsibilities of this particular leadership role, 683 VPM for more details. But let me dig deeper on a couple of these. If we step back and look from a holistic standpoint, the Vice President of Membership is basically the human resources person inside your club. They're the ones that's going to help motivate, encourage the team to reach their skill levels. They're also going to help folks, as new members come in, they're encourage those new members to really stay engaged. They're going to help bring new members in. They're going to be the first point of contact that says, hey, man, how you doing? They're going to kind of hand them off to another member in the club to kind of build some rapport with them. But then they're going to be the person that comes back and ultimately has the application, walks through it with them and says, okay, here's how it works. $66 covers you for the next 6 months of your membership. How do you want to get started? So they're basically the closer of your club. Now, does that always have to be that person that does that? No. The Vice President of Membership, again, like I mentioned, team building, they can develop a team of other members that help them with this relationship. So maybe a meeting they miss, there's another person that they can designate and say, hey, look, I'm not going to be at the next meeting. Would you please step up for me and help any guests that come in to show them how to join as a new member, how to walk through that app. And again, that's a training point, which you'll train that person how to do that. But they work on membership building. They're the one, in my mind, that should really watch your membership levels and keep the president, VPE, and the other leadership team up to speed on where's our membership right now. How are we in the DCP program, Distinguished Club Program, in order to reach the level of President Distinguished for our club? And one of the prerequisites for the Distinguished Club Program is 20 members or plus 5 of my previous base. Let's talk about that real quick. 20 members is a pretty easy number. I need 20 members at each renewal cycle at every 6-month period, minimum. Or I need 5 more than the last term. So if my last term I was sitting at 12 members, well then the next cycle I need to have 17 by the end of the year, which ends on June 30th, to reach my Distinguished Club Program in addition to my educational awards. But as the membership person, Vice President of Membership, you should be the one watching those numbers. and addressing them with the rest of the club and the leadership to say, hey guys, we need about 5 new members, or we need 5 members to reach our goal of President's Distinguished. So why don't we set a goal of 7 so we have a little fluff if we hit that goal there. And promoting the club membership building club programs, as you'll learn as VPM, there's the Smedley Award, the Beat the Clock Award, the, oh goodness, what's the other one? Can't remember. There's about 3 different membership building programs throughout the year that run for 60 days consecutive. Now, what are the skills learned in VPM? Well, marketing is one of them, because you're going to be marketing the club out to the world. Strategic planning, again, critical thinking, internal and external communication skills. How you communicate with the club and their members, and you're the leadership folks, and how you communicate with the outside world are 2 different things. Positive small group collaboration, how about that? And succession planning, again, those are some key skills there. Public relations, VPPR, we call them. This person basically is your advertising person. They're your media people. They promote the club outside in the community, notify media to post our events, whether it be a club meeting, whether it be a particular social event we're having, maintain club social media pages and websites, create publicity campaigns for the club, ensure our club contact info is up to date. That's what I call the first responder. They would be responsible for, okay, who is that person? And that person could change throughout the year. But if someone reaches out through maybe your free Toast website and contacts, that email should go to one person that responds super fast. If they get the email at 9 o'clock in the morning, they should be trying to call those people or reach back out to them by 9:30. Okay, it should be a quick response. If someone reaches out through the TI website, they should be calling them back right away. Hey, how are you doing? Glad you reached out. How can we help? What are you looking for? Get them involved and invite them to the meeting to show that personal touch. And also protecting the use of the Toastmasters brand and logo. The VPPR is that person that really watches, are we using the logo in the right way? Are we showing the right banners at all of our events? Are we not, have we gotten rid of all of our old materials that might have some old 1980s Toastmaster logos on it? Move forward from there. So the VPPR kind of advertises the club and what we do to the community, right? The VPPM, Vice President of Membership, is the one who greets them, brings them in, shows them the love, and then asks them to join. Okay, so it's a kind of a team effort right there between those 2. Now, I won't say that any of those skills are specific responsibility falls under the Vice President of Public Relations, Vice President of Membership roles. Responsibility, and they take ownership. But they don't have to do all the work. They can train a team, bring in 1 person or 2 people or whomever to help with these responsibilities. You may have someone in your club who's fantastic at social media, and maybe that's the person you can put in charge of the social media part of your club. Maybe you have another person that's great on websites. They can help work on the website. So you can segment that as much as you want, but again, you have to know your people in the club and how you can use them effectively. The skills learned, marketing and promotion, social media and PR, skill and relations, communication with the local media and communities. There's a skill to communicating with your local newspaper, TV, and radio. Writing press releases. I know that in the digital world we live in, it's not as big of a deal, but you know what? A press release can be put on a Facebook page and shared just as much as it can be sent to a local newspaper or magazine. And I think local magazines we don't reach out to as much, but I think that we probably should. Maybe it's an article versus a press release about communication or about leadership. And here's a story about someone inside our club and what they've learned and what they've accomplished. Organizing and problem solving, positive small group collaboration. As you can see, several of these are some we've seen before because they apply to all the leadership roles, right? Sergeant at Arms. Well, these are the folks that kind of help manage the club equipment and materials. They're there a little bit early to set up the meeting room. They're making sure the location is ready. For many of our clubs, you may have to schedule time out, like if you meet at a library in a local community, you might have to schedule it out 4 weeks ahead of time and make sure that schedule stays up to date and you're always on the books. Worst thing you can say is people show up for a meeting and no one reserved the room, and now we're like, twiddling our thumbs standing outside. Distributing the club materials and setting up the meetings, whether it be your ballot sheets, your agendas at the meeting, that kind of thing. And then provide the hospitality and membership info to the guests. Again, a team effort here. Many times that sergeant of arms is kind of like your visitor host, the person that kind of shows them around and what's going on, but then they kind of maintain all the stuff. You might have a box or a rolly cart that you roll around that has all that stuff in it, that you're the person that keeps that in control. Now, here's a quick example for you. We've got a little binder box in ours that has 5 folders in it, and there's one specific for membership applications and guest packets. Now, the sergeant of arms would hold that box and keep it under control and keep it in place, but the vice president of membership is the person who would just supply it with the guest packets and the membership applications. Now, if they want to delegate it to the sergeant of arms upon occasion, or if they decide and the sergeant of arms wants to take on the responsibility of doing that themselves, then that's fine. But that ultimately should not be a responsibility of the sergeant of arms unless that's something agreed upon in the club. So what are the skills developed? Sergeant of arms, organization and problem solving, maintaining records, inventory control, the physical logistics, and negotiating skills. And where this comes into play, in many cases, I know in our club of Angelin, we actually pay a small monthly membership for our club location. And we have, it's a great environment. We have access to different rooms. We have PowerPoint material and TVs and stuff. So we have all the electronics that we need for those kind of things in our presentation formats. But in sometimes, negotiating skills, you might need that to, if you're going to look for a new location, maybe negotiating the rates, or maybe I negotiate with them on, okay, look, here's what our organization does. We have all these training things. I would be more than happy to once a month put on a training session for your employees if you allow us to use your nice little conference room over here every week or every other week, whatever it is. Is that something you feel like we could work out to a mutual understanding? In some cases, you can get a free room with some great tools and facilities if you're willing to do a little bit and give and exchange some value, right? That'd be negotiating skills. Many times, if you're having a challenge with your location and maybe we need to look for a new one, well, the sergeant of arms is the person who kind of goes out and let's look in the community and see what's available. What kind of rooms are out there where I might could use these to get a better location or a better environment in which we're going to bring in more members and guests. Secretary. Again, this is the administration. Secretary and the treasurer, maybe in some cases, in some clubs, might be the same person, maybe sort of dual duties, but ideally they should all be separate. They're going to take meetings, minutes at the club meetings and post them on the website or distribute them to the members, however that's done. Maintain club records and files, update and distribute the membership roster. Now, this is one that I'd kind of forgotten about over time, but these two pieces here, update and distribute a membership roster, is a secretary's role. Update club officer list for Toastmasters International, which is one of your check marks on your Distinguished Club program, is making sure your club officer list is turned in on time. Those are the role-specific check marks that need to be done on a regular basis. Here, update distribute membership roster. Many times, maybe we don't get all the information in, phone number or email address. Maybe you want to make sure that's up to date and everything is correct. Many times people might move, they got a new address. So this would be the membership roster at Toastmasters International, and the secretary has the means to get into the website and make adjustments there. And then distributing that, because I believe firmly that we should know and have the contact info of all the members in our club. Maybe it's something that I know they work in a particular industry and I need help with those services. Well, why not bring it to someone I know inside my Toastmasters organization versus just someone random off the street that I might go and look at in Google and pull up their name and go use their services, okay? And then 683S for more details on that. Again, if you look at whatever your role is, 683 and P for president, VPE for vice president education, use those acronyms and that'll help you with that. Skills learned as a secretary, organization and problem solving. Again, sometimes there's going to be some challenges you may come across. Record maintenance, critical thinking, meeting organization, documenting decisions from the meetings and communicating them to the club members. So again, you're basically the note taker and the record keeper of the club. Again, sometimes parts and pieces of that can be farmed out to other members and you can have some delegation there. But again, you're ultimately responsible for keeping the records up to date in the membership. Treasurer, maintain accurate financial records, manage bank accounts and deposits, collect and submit membership and renewals, create a budget, file tax info, prepare for annual audit and financial reports, and then see 683T for more details on the responsibilities. Again, this is the highlight of the big ones. Again, managing the bank account, collecting dues and renewals, and then kind of monitoring the budget. I know a lot of clubs don't have like a lot of club dues to really manage and work with, but sometimes there are some funds there, and you want to be able to be accountable to how are we using those. Again, usually it's not a lot. I think in many cases our clubs should charge a little bit more in club dues so that we have some dollars to spend on things for the club. I know in our club many times the extra dues we pay will go toward a little event or buying some food for that event or some snacks or whatever. But I think that budgeting can give us the idea of we can do more inside our club for our members throughout the year than if we don't have that. So it gives us a little more openness and options to think outside the box and say, hey, what can we do for our members? I believe firmly that, you could charge more in your club. However, you want to be able to be accountable and show them, okay, if I'm paying, let's just say $10 a month as a club due, how much of that goes toward these things inside the club? In my brain, if I know that we're going to have an annual banquet and we're going to have 3 events a year in which the club provides, $25 or $50 toward the food or the stuff for that event, and then other members might bring some other things, I'm okay with that because that sounds reasonable. Every member gives this much every year. That money's used for this. And obviously we know clubs have to buy, award certificates, ribbons, banners, all kind of different things for the club. So if I know as a member what that's used for, I'm not going to have a problem with it. Skills learned as a treasurer, basic bookkeeping and budgeting, monitoring of that budget, adhering to financial controls, critical thinking, organizing, and problem solving. I think about this role from the budget standpoint is, many people don't put together a budget or what I like to call a spending plan for themselves in their personal life, even at home. So maybe someone takes this role and they're like, budget, I got to put a budget together. Okay, look at what we're going to spend for the year. How much money do we need? So do we have enough funds for that? Okay, so do we increase our dues to take care of those things? Or do I have to reduce our spending to compensate for that? Same thing in our home life, right? Either increase my income or reduce my expenses to make the two match and meet, right? Immediate past president. Now, this is one people don't talk about a lot when we're talking about the roles inside the club, because this is really the one that's basically dictated to the past president, right? But they're going to be a positive leadership role for the officers and the other members in the club. They're basically that support team for the new leadership team that comes in to help them with whatever they might need. Encourage participation in the DCP program. Again, you can't necessarily, as a past president, tell people what to do, but if you have set a certain standard for the club, I think you have a right to say, hey, look, here's what we've been doing. It works. Continue to follow the program. Here are some things that you might need to look at and focus on. Provide advice and counsel when requested upon. Again, we can't necessarily shove things down people's throat, right? We have to kind of encourage them to seek the information and the wisdom. Assist in resolving conflict, because we will have that from time to time. And again, continue to lead by example, right? Again, that's 683 IPP for more details. Skills learned is that immediate past president. Pretty much everything a president would do. Team building, strategic planning. In some cases right here, team building, a president, VPE, VPM, may ask for specific and particular support from the immediate past president. Look, man, I want to build a team that's really going to go out and start promoting in the community. Can you help me with that? Give me some ideas. Let's brainstorm together. Who inside the club do you think could help me with that? So if we really begin to look at that and bring things together like that, I think it becomes a whole lot easier to build a team and help us move to the next level. Okay, so where are we at now? Whoa, thank you for listening. We're pretty much wrapped up here. I really wanted just to bring this to you more specific to give you some tools. This PowerPoint, if you want, you can use this recording if you like, share it with other members to give them an idea of what these roles entail, okay? What am I gonna learn from these roles when I serve them? Because I think there's no better place, in my opinion, to step in and practice leadership than in a Toastmasters organization. You know, I work with a lot of folks that come to me, Richard, I want to be a better leader. How do I do it? My honest answer to them is I have to sit down and evaluate, okay, so what's your time commitment to learning this new skill? Well, what do you mean? I just thought we could get together and learn some things. Well, I can teach you the things and I can tell you what to do, but do you have an environment in which you're going to be able to execute them to truly learn the skill? I don't know. Well, you need to join a Toastmasters club, commit about 4 hours a week to learning that new skill, and then I'll sit down and work with you. Really? Because there's no better place than to join a club, jump into a leadership role, any of those 7 I just walked through, and begin to learn new skills to develop and use in your work environment, even at your home environment or in your community. Many people, you might just be on the board of a nonprofit organization, and I want to contribute more. So how do I do that? Okay, come here, let me show you. But you're going to have to commit 4 hours a week for probably the next minimum 6 months. And to really get that skill level down, I would say a full year would be the best time frame. Well, I hope this helped you. Again, I wanted to bring it to you, and I think it's going to add some value. Dig into it, use it, share it, give it to those folks. Reach out to me at richard@thewolfspeaks.com. I'll be more than happy to help with anything you got going on. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great one.